and also going to take notes from Gemini. Good. All right. So hello and happy end of the month. We're finally getting a stretch of weather, good weather, and it's going to be some pretty rainy weather for us in and around where I'm at. And oh, a couple of little reminders here too. June, I got inspired by a really sunny Friday afternoon. I thought let's do some meetups in June. So we got a wax happening, and I'm just gonna have to look at my calendar because I can't remember them all. But there is, let me just do the month view here, going to next month, and there is we got a Toronto meetup happening June 3rd. That's going to be at Yorkdale Mall. It's a little cafe on the west side of the mall. So it's easy to get into. You just kind of come off the 401 straight off. You know, there's a little ramp on, you come off the 401, go down Dufferin. There's a little easy ramp to get into Yorkdale and parking right there. So we're going to do a Toronto meetup there on June 3rd. On June 11th, going all the way to Hamilton. And you guys are familiar, a lot of the Hamilton folks, we've been meeting at the West Town Bar and Grill. Parking is not great in Hamilton. It reminds me of an English version of Montreal. It's just one-way streets all over the place. But there is a little, what is it called again? What's the coffee shops? Oh my gosh, my brain's dying on me. The Starbucks. Starbucks. As you turn onto Lock Street from Main, a couple blocks up, there's a Starbucks that has like what looks like a coin parking spot that I'm told nobody monitors. I've been there 3 times, parked for free, and there's hardly anybody there. So there's a little spot there for Hamilton. And then on the 17th, we're doing a meetup in Port Credit, which is, I call it the Lakeshore folks. So anybody in, even in Etobicoke and the west side of Toronto can make that. That's not a bad drive. Oakville, Burlington is not a bad drive. Just jump on the QEW. And it's right near Highway 10 and Lakeshore. There's a little cafe right near the lake with a parking lot right behind it. It's paid, but it's pretty accessible. I've used it a few times already. And it's a little coffee shop with some really cool desserts and pastries in there. And then on the 24th, trying something new, we're going to go out and see Mart. Mart is somebody correct me, feel free to, a sommelier, the wine testing expert, and she's got a wine place that she's suggesting we try out. Stony Creek is not that bad for Hamilton folks. It's a stone throw away. It's on the other side of the lake for us. And we're doing it at 2:30. And then we're going to actually there's a meetup that is our regular networking meetup. But so a month from today, we're going to bring our laptops and do it there. So if you can't make it, you can join us online. But that's a really cool place, and Mart's a cool person to go in there with because she knows the wine and knows the area, and that's June. And then I'm going to go for like 3 months without seeing anybody. That's just going to be nuts for me. That's like networking overload for me. So I'm trying it out. I'll be all over the world, and I'm timing it perfectly. I'm sharing a car with my son now, who's got a part-time job while he's off from university, and sharing a car with my son, who's got a full-time job, means I have to beg and borrow to get my own car back. And he's off Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I'm trying to schedule around his schedule. So that's how it's working. A couple of other things I wanted to talk about. I'm going to try sharing a screen here because I want to show you a couple of things within the app. Let me share. Oh, here it is. It's a couple of things that new people may not be taking advantage of that you should be taking advantage of. One of them is the matchups, and you would have gotten your matchups today, and all the folks, you could see all the more recent matchups this week, last week, whatever. What it does, it's a thing that the app itself does, Heartbeat. It looks at your profile and tries to match up with someone similar, and sends you out an invite and says, hey, I'm just picking 2 people here. Hey, Richard, here's your profile here. Simran, there's your profile. You guys should talk, right? And really, because we get busy, we forget about the one-on-ones, and those are really important. I'm going to start recording them. I think I said this to, can't remember who I was talking to last. Maybe it was Rob. I can't even remember who I was talking to, but it was like, you know what? Oh, I remember. It was Alex. And it was such an interesting dig in terms of what Alex is doing. I'm going to start recording them and putting them up so you guys can have privy to some of these conversations. And if you want to record yours and post it up as well, It's just, I think you get to know people a lot better on that one-on-one, and it does it for you. I've got it set so it does it every 2 weeks. It's supposed to find somebody that matches your profile, but with only 40 people in there, it's just going to find somebody you haven't met with before. That's one of them. The second thing I want to alert you to, if you haven't done it already, is a member of the affiliates program. And that is an opportunity for me. I'm just going to show you what it looks like on my end. It's an opportunity for me to give you guys money back or reduce your subscription or whatever it is, for bringing in really good quality visitors. And there's been a lot of, like, everybody here, I don't market this group at all. It's all organically grown. So I'm trying to share that, share the love back. Really, the membership fee just covers the cost of a little bit of my time and a lot of the app itself. So if you go into, my back end looks a lot more challenging than yours. But if you go into something called the affiliate program and you sign up for it, you can say, pay me through PayPal, in which case I'll just email you the referral fee. Or if you say pay with the card that I signed up with, it's actually going to reduce your subscription on an ongoing basis. I've already kind of done this with Eden. Eden's signed up a couple of people, and it's reduced her fee down to I think I want to say $6 a month. Eden, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's kind of it's my way to. Sorry. Oh, you're muted, Eden.
I can't tell if it reduced it by 6 to 9 or reduced it by 9 to 6, but I think it reduced it by 6 to 9 a month.
No, it's the other way because you got $4.50 each. So, but I'll double check.
Okay, whatever. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, now Marta, I'm trying to figure it out. Marta signed up for a year. She signed up 2 people for a year. I'm trying to figure if she has to wait for a year. It might be the case. The worst case scenario is next year you maybe get it for free. So that's my way of saying thanks. By you doing this, it makes my life easier to say thanks to you. Otherwise, it gets really stressful me trying to remember it. One last thing, and then I'm going to go on to the notifications. If you're getting too many notifications, this is where you can set your own pace. There is one in there for very busy people that only want a weekly digest. It's literally called Weekly Digest. You turn them all off and have that on, and it summarizes what happens through the week. Okay? So if anybody has any questions about that, I do an open office on Thursday afternoons from 4 to 5. Whenever you want to pop in, have any questions about the app or any questions in general, just pop in and I will answer those for you. That said, I'm going to try a couple different things today in terms of getting folks talking. First, I just want you to introduce yourselves. Just a concise one. We can dig really deep on the app and then your LinkedIn profile and your website. Just give me like a 1 minute, 30 seconds best. Remind me to put context who you are. And there's a couple little things I'm going to give you. I just want to try one and see how fast it goes around. But give me a 1-word check-in. How I'm going to say the month. How your month went for you? Like, what's that 1 word that describes your month? And then we'll try a couple others if that goes by fast enough. Okay. And I'll go first. I'm going to set the bar really low because I'm really terrible at these things, So I'll start with who I am. So you know me from this group. I won't introduce that part, but I do something called digital transformation consultant. And really what my role is to try and make sure that growing companies are using the tools to grow, basically giving them a window in terms of what's going on with their operations. And that's like, are all your systems aligned and talking and sharing progress? Because it's hard to grow without being able to have that macro view. So and my 1 word would be, I would say resilience is the one that kind of comes to mind. And that's coming with all that's going on with the market. I've been paying a lot of attention. I think the throne speech today was an interesting angle, an interesting way that we're kind of being resilient as a Canadian country and stuff. So that's what's sounded for me. I'm just going to go random. I'm going to pick Marta because she's really good at networking. She's a pro. I'll go Christina next because she's also pro. And then I'm going to, all you guys have done this at BNI before, so you guys know how to do this thing. So Marta, just to remind you, quick intro, who you are. What's your 1 word for the month? Go ahead.
No pressure. Hi, everyone. I'm Marta of L7 Branding. I'm a strategy-first visual identity designer, and I craft brands for startups, scale-ups, and nonprofits. My one word, that's a challenging one. I think maybe the word challenging. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity around us right now, but it's kind of putting your finger on the right one. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Sorry, that's more than one word.
That's good. Now let's go over to the other pro, Christina. Go ahead, Christina.
I don't know about pro, but thank you. That's very kind of you. Hi, everyone. Christina Rahesia Crandalls, for those that don't know me. I am a search specialist, so both paid Google ads and organic ads. And yeah, great to see everyone. And my one word, I have to admit, my week. It's hard to encapsulate the month in one word. Like, it was wonderful because I was away in Barbados, but I have to admit I've been very busy since I've been back. So tired would be the other word. So extremes of both. But yeah, nice to see everyone.
I was talking to Karen Lamb, and Karen Tam, sorry, she just got back from Japan. She told me the layover was like, it's a 13-hour flight, and their time is like a day different. It's just nuts. So I can appreciate there's some tiredness after a vacation. Rajiv, go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Richard. Hi, everyone. Rajiv Pereira. I'm a founder partner of SQ Business Advisory. What we do is we offer fractional CFO and financial advisory services for small to mid-sized businesses. So basically helping them to understand helping them to build their financial infrastructure to maturity, helping them understand their financial health, and ultimately giving them the right tools and guidance to scale and grow. My one word for the month, I want to say stressful, because I got multiple planned deliverables that I'm working with my team on getting those out for end of the month, and just finding that time to kind of continue to build that business pipeline and be out there and engage with people and network similar to this group here. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. That's good. Henrik, I'm going to see you tonight at Ryan's gig, so we'll have you go next, sir.
Okay, I'm a fractional CFO as well. I work with startups and scale-ups, generally 1 to 10 to 5 million in revenue, 5 to 20 staff, and they are growing. There's some changes. So I help them with their cash flow, financing, financial reporting, financial planning, that kind of things, building the financial operations. This month it's been up and down. I would call it interesting.
I like that. It's good. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, Robert from Hamilton, sir, go for it.
Oh, hey everybody. Robert here from my company's called Inspiring Design. I specialize in branding, brand strategy, and web design. And I think my one word might be introspective, as I've kind of been evaluating my business and kind of changing it a little bit and see where I want to go for the next 10 years. So, yeah.
I like that one. Mark Thorne said the other day, he says, we talked about what you do when you get breaks and you maybe time to work on your own business. And he literally says he works on his own business, and he does similar to you, Robert. Well, you know, Mark.
Yeah, of course.
And he will go through rebranding exercises. I think that's great. I like that. You know, let me look at myself from the other perspective and take a minute while you have it, right?
Yeah. So, one big thing I've been doing is kind of picking a niche and kind of focusing on that. And I've been building a lead generation tool or kind of strategy to get some leads in for that particular niche. So,
I like that.
I heard focusing helps in marketing. So I'm actually going to try it for once.
It's tricky. And all the marketing folk that you'll niche, and then you're like too far in, come back out. I think it's like it's almost like a heart beating. You know, you're in and out.
That's a good perspective on that. Yeah.
But I think it's important. it's really good. I was looking at a post today. They talked about if you can't say what you do clearly, nobody's going to be able to refer you on because they don't feel confident in being able to do that. So
Yeah,
good
exactly.
exercise.
If you can, how can you expect other people to?
Yeah, and now if you're like me, you will overcomplicate things as much as possible before you can simplify it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Marino.
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Basically, I provide the fancy word visual content. So I'm a photographer, videographer. I work with businesses and professionals to do portraits, events, products, content. So yeah, kind of new. Robert introduced me to this group. I think this is my second go around with you guys. And I guess the word of the day or the month would be persistence.
I like that. Goes with the resilience. So I'm gonna Miranda, who's sitting right beside you, is on the other end of where you live. She's in Orangeville. I was gonna say Aurelia again, Orangeville, and Marino's in Burlington, right, Marino? Burlington? Excellent. And has a different take of something similar to what you do, but a slightly different angle on it. Go ahead, Marina. Sorry, Miranda.
Yeah. So my business is the art of storytelling, and we create beautiful videos and photography for our clients that want to increase their know, like, and trust factors and really tell the story behind their business. So we make them look good on camera in a very authentic, believable, and trustworthy way. We work with corporate and municipal and nonprofit clients. And we just want to help them tell their story and explain their passion behind their organization. My word for this month would be something like planting seeds or making a fresh start, both outside in my garden and like the previous person said, we are also trying to reimagine how we want to brand our company. So we're working on some of that when we get a moment. Yeah.
Are you a very difficult client for yourself? You find yourself challenging for yourself? Yeah.
Yes.
I am terrible that way too.
Absolutely terrible. So we are looking for specialist support.
Excellent. I'm gonna pass it to Brian. Are you there? Your camera's off, so I'm not 100%. Oh, there you are, sir. Go ahead.
Hey guys, Brian Lee here. I own my own CPA professional corporation. It's a recent gig of mine. Since November of last year, I used to be a tax partner at a local accounting firm. So my specialty is Canadian taxes and cross-border taxes. A good word to reflect my month is rewarding. So obviously, I just been through tax busy season, so it was a blur up until now. But this month was surprisingly also busy. I got a new client come to me last week, and what happened was she was devastated. Her marriage was falling apart, but what happened was her ex-husband had used her name to incorporate some kind of company for her and push his expenses onto her. So it was a very bad story where she didn't know what to do. But what ended up happening was, after consulting with me, I'm actually now working with her ex-husband to fix his stuff on his side. That way, everything is going to be all rosy after this. So it's been rewarding from that perspective, and hopefully, I'm trying to also put on the hat of trying to save their marriage also, which is totally on the side, but it's
kudos to you. There are some heartfelt rewards beyond the financial rewards, right? And that's great when the two align. I think that's awesome. There's a not similar story. They were talking about bail, and they were talking about this lady. Her parents granted her bail. It's upwards around $1 million. She wasn't supposed to do certain things like be on her phone, be outside, go to stores and stuff like that, all of which she broke, and ended up back in jail again. And her parents were out the $1 million that they forfeited. So there is, like, people make silly mistakes that seem fruitful at the moment, and it can be really lengthy and profound at the end. So it's good that you're unwinding what seemed like a really smart idea at one time and created havoc afterwards. And I'm not going to say smart and while you're on the phone. Maybe afterwards, when you're not around, I'll say, oh, that's an interesting trick, but not in front of Brian. So anyhow, good. I'm glad to hear you're doing that. Simran, go ahead.
Hi everyone, Simran Diogan. I'm pretty new to the group. I joined the call a couple weeks ago. I run Kahani Consultancy. My focus is strategy, including fractional work. So we help identify where your value is coming from, and if you don't know, then we can help you figure that out or derive new ways to access growth and value creation within the business. My word of the month is probably learning. I've been really trying to submerge myself into what the heck AI is and how to integrate it into my business and the impact it's having on clients, potential clients. And it's a hairy world out there trying to learn how to do it. And my background is not technical, so I'm absolutely coming from a perspective of someone that does not know how to code, but the implications are real and heavy. So I've just started to truly like dedicate daily and weekly time into that this month.
There's a podcast I'm listening. I just got halfway through it. It's a guy in Stanford. It's called Think Fast, Talk Smart, I believe. I might be saying that incorrect. But they're interviewing, they're at South by Southwest, and they're interviewing the Portland Trailblazers, the NBA basketball team, who have adopted AI throughout their organization, and they're kind of going through that whole how they brought it in. It's pretty interesting. So that's a good one. I'll try and remember, Simran. I'll put it in the sharing stage. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Substack. Does anybody else use Substack? Because Simran's been using it effectively. Anybody else? I was going to ask you what your thoughts are. Good, bad?
I'm reading it. I'm not writing on it, but I'm reading it.
Reading? Okay, there you go.
Yeah. That's good. You can read mine. I'll send you a subscription.
Okay.
No pressure. Yeah, it's been about a month. So I was starting to just sort of lose the shine of like writing directly on LinkedIn and finding it hard to fit everything I wanted to say in a pithy enough post that wasn't written by AI and that still got some engagement. So I've been enjoying it. I mean, I also have a background in writing, so it's something that is sort of forcing me to get back into finding how I want to sort of communicate different ideas, and it's pointed at a bit of entrepreneurship, but also a bit of sort of my personal life, and it's slow to grow, but I think it's more about just kind of sitting in a maybe a little bit of a dusty corner of the internet that's not getting sort of a ton of attention, but is growing pretty quickly, and I can sort of mold it to how I want to write and how I want to communicate instead of sort of be forced into, hey, this is the next big viral thing that's going to work on this platform. And so that's personally why I'm enjoying it. And I think there's a lot to be said about the potential of like building your own list and sort of owning that, having ownership, quote unquote, of that list over time if it does start to take off. But I'm still very much in experimentation mode. But thank you for subscribing, Richard. If you have thoughts and feedback, I'm all ears.
I like your writing style. There's a bunch in the group that have really good writing, and I like yours. I like how you dipped into personal experiences. This is business. We are humans, right? Like we are business people, but humans doing the business work. So I love how you kind of go back and forth in that storytelling. It's really good. So far, so good. I'm going to look at Substack now. You got me interested in it.
Cool.
And I think so. With Karen, who's the one who invited you, she's looking at ways to create passive income from her expertise, and like I said, thought leadership is the one that always comes to me. But I think having a list and having a voice and putting that voice out there is a great start in that direction. And I'm saying that to myself so I can get myself off and start doing that myself. So now I'm feeling guilty about not doing that. I'm going to pass it on to Daniel, who's my matchup this month. Hey, Daniel.
Hello, Richard. So I basically solve all your IT and network headaches. My two main verticals are nonprofits and landlords / property managers. And the word of the day, I guess, is probably perseverance. Just got into a car accident on Saturday, and I picked up 3 new clients this month. So I'm just trying to focus on moving forward, not looking in my rearview mirror.
That's good advice. Hopefully you're okay.
In my rearview mirror just before I got hit.
Yeah.
Didn't help though.
At least you got hit and you're okay. I see you're physically fine and stuff like that. And your car probably
a bit of soreness, but that's about it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
And my car's not a write-off, but theirs is.
Oh man, they must have hit hard. That's horrible.
Oh, they were doing about 70 clicks down Main Street West past the urgent care center,
Oh, that's not smart.
and I was
That's a-
stopped at the lights.
For those that don't know Hamilton, that's like a 3-4 lane road. I can't remember. It moves
Freeway.
three-way.
No, it's like it's like a freeway in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it's like it's 4 lanes at parts. There's some construction that constricts it here and there.
It's 3 lanes at that particular intersection,
Yeah,
but it's all one way, and it's like a highway.
Yeah, and then picture pedestrians just wandering around it. They're
And
forget
it's
the lights and all that.
60-kilometer-an-hour speed limit, and everybody's doing about 80.
It should be 50 probably, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay, and congrats on the wins with the clients. And I like the idea of thinking about that rather than thinking the accent's behind us now. So,
Yeah, well, one of them is actually taking advantage of all this real estate that's not doing anything.
yes.
So
Yeah.
they got a contract with Quadreal, and all their real estate that they're waiting on financing for, or waiting for the real estate market to improve on, they're turning all those into pickleball courts.
Oh, smart. I like that. That's creative. And that is the number one reason of family medical centers are busy. It's like one of the top reasons, because people are playing it without doing a lot of other sports. And there's a lot of sideways and back and front movement. And apparently I heard that on some more useless information from Rich from CBC News. But yeah. All right, Eden.
So they're actually injuring themselves playing pickleball?
Exactly. Yeah. Because
Seriously?
Yeah, I know it seems like but you're moving side to side, front and back. It's not normal path of movement. So there's a lot of injuries. You have to be careful. I say that to myself when I go and try and pretend I'm like 20 years younger than I am.
Yeah, and they also do paddle courts too.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Go ahead, Eden.
I am Eden Spodek, founder of Spodek & Co. Digital Marketing. Going sort of from being a larger full service agency, a little more focused on the solopreneur, fractional, and partnership route, focusing primarily on marketing strategy and execution in the digital realm, with some specialization also in online ed, and primarily with women-owned and purpose-driven businesses, although not exclusively. And just as a sidebar, I'm also building a business as a leadership coach and offer courses to small businesses and coaches for how to create their digital footprint online. That's it in a nutshell. More than one focus, but hey, it all works together. I had different words today, and some of them were repeated, so I'm going to try for something a little bit different and say determined, because I'm determined to overcome all the punches that have been thrown at me and many of us, mostly due to the current economy, but due to other things. So
The other one podcast I was thinking of, there's Scott Galloway, if you know him, Professor G. On he is I stumbled into the episode that talks about his career and talk about ups and downs, and like, wow, holy cow. His ups and downs had millions of dollars thrown in between. So I don't feel like we can kind of relate as well, but talk about some scary situations where losing business and stuff like that. But the one thing that comes out from everything is like, you gotta be resilient. Like he talked about, as a kid, he had a business renting, if you guys remember the days of video VHS tapes, going around these offices and renting them and being told no so many times that, it really taught him how to just take no and keep moving on. So I like determined, perseverance, resilience. I like all these words. I think it fits well for what we do. I'm going to pass it on to Colleen. I'm putting down because you're lower on the screen, Colleen. I don't know why.
That's okay. I don't know where I appear on the screen to you, so it doesn't matter to me. My name is Colleen Finnegan. I'm an external communications strategist. I specialize in B2B companies, and basically I use communications to help companies drive their business forward. It's sort of my business is usually either fractional work. So I've done a number of fractional contracts where I'll go in and become embedded in a company, help them solve a problem, such as like maybe look at their department, what's working, what's not working, do an agency search, all kinds of manner of different things. And then I also do project and retainer work. I prefer retainer over project because comms is a bit of a long-term, it takes a long-term commitment to get real impact. But yeah, so that's kind of how my business is divided up. Oh, and my word of the month. Gosh, everyone's had so many great words. You know, certainly it's been a challenging month. I think it's been a challenging year. I'll be to be fair, it's not just this month. I'm on a real new business hunt. So I'm doing a lot of networking. I'm working on some lead gen things. Yeah, it's just trying to try a bunch of different things to see what's going to work. It's been a very challenging year economically, I think, for a lot of people. So, but that's the way it is.
It can turn around in a heartbeat too, but it doesn't take much for us to get going again or to have a hard, like, I mean, it's like, and I'm going to assume, Colleen, that you had a busy come up to this year, because if you're just getting rolling on the marketing again, you probably in a transition gear.
It's been a transition for the last couple of years. I'll be honest. I don't think that the economy is just suddenly fallen off a cliff. It's been a long time coming. I had a pretty significant contract, fractional role at a big tech company, a global tech company. And so the tech companies were the ones that really like put the brakes on things like 2 years ago. So I think I'm a little bit, was a little bit new about this kind of coming, maybe sooner than some people in different industries. But yeah, I think it's really coming to a head now. I think it's going to be a tough year.
I can appreciate that. You can, if you put a little age in myself. I was around for that tech boom and collapse in the early 2000s, and it has continued to, yeah, it's continued to grow. I mean, it's I don't know if it's like a canary thing with tech in terms of like it booms, it goes up, and it's the first one to plummet. So I don't know if that's the case, but when the world is going through massive change, technology is at the forefront of that in a great way, but it can be challenging as all that's going on. We know that AI is causing a lot of challenges right now. So it is a market that will come back. I think if you got investments in tech, you want to just hold on right now, not divest in it, but it's tricky. I know, because some companies have folded together, right, over in the past. So yeah, I'm with you there. And Colleen's another one that does. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to mention, they just posted something on Slashdot today or yesterday. IBM laid off 6,000 people because they're going to automate those jobs using AI.
Yeah.
About 3 months later, they rehired 6,000 people that were specialized in using AI.
Yeah. Could be the same very people, because they had time to learn it while they were laid off. The Shopify is another one that said, you know, they had to go through, like, they hired too many during that boom after the pandemic, and now they insist on, like, you have to prove that you can't replicate the job you want to hire for with AI before you go and hire. So they're trying to be careful about, and it happens, and you're under this extreme amount of growth. You want to grab as much of that as possible, and you hire and you hire and you hire, and then you can't really see when things plateau. And that's another unique situation with the tech that's at the lead of things. Pass it on to Linda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Kern. My company is the Kern Group, and I am a fractional head of sales. So anything that has to do with the world of sales, I can help companies with. Typically, I'm looking to work with companies with sales teams. Usually 3 or more salespeople kind of justifies me coming in to help them get things sorted out. And where you see sort of a bit of a disarray with the way they're approaching sales, with the way the team is being led, they're just not really happy with the sales growth. My word is change, because like Colleen said, this has been just a crazy year for me. It's like quiet and just really different. So I'm just, embracing the change and getting used to the change and taking the dog to the park for long walks and, just not panicking and just kind of, trying to enjoy it a little bit.
I think Linda also does a fractional role as well, where there's a longer sales cycle, right? I mean, there's a lot of trust that needs to be built up before you get hired. And I mean, I've been in that world as well. It's like getting a job. It's like getting hired. It's, yeah, it's great while you're there, but then when you got to change again, it's tricky. Like you got to do things with your identity on LinkedIn. Like a lot of the fractionals, I see them with multiple presence, what they're doing because they're in different organizations. And then you got to respect that client that you're working with, that you're kind of pseudo an employee of when you're posting as well. So it's a different environment. It's a different type of business model. It has its highs and its lows, right? And I got to try and figure out the pictures got flipped around if I missed anybody. I think I've gotten everybody because I've seen Christina on the very right, who was on the left, and I've already done Christina. So, okay, let's go through. We don't have to do the intros right now. I'm going to pick another one out. I think, so it's like 40 minutes left. You're going to have to tell quick stories, but, and y'all look for volunteers this time because, that way if you got a really good story, give you a little bit more breathing room.
Sorry, Richard, we have 20 minutes left. So just make sure you knew that. You said 40.
I looked at the time and it said 3:41. It just said the number out loud. Great math skills, Rich. Okay, thank you. 20 minutes, Marta. Thank you. Appreciate that. So what I was going to say is an aha moment. And this could be, it could be in terms of what Linda and Colleen were talking about, an aha, like trying to figure out what's going on with the world. And is there something that's enlightening you? It could be an aha moment. You discovered a new angle in your business, like Daniel just got three new referrals. Is there an aha movement in a new direction? So I'm going to take volunteers, and I'll do a little bit of a pause to give you guys a chance to think about that. And if you're ready to go ahead, or you can start a queue, whatever you want to do. I can. Oh, go ahead, Linda. There you go.
I was just going to say something that I have always said to, companies and sales teams that I've worked with, that whenever, this isn't our first rodeo in terms of a downturn in an economy. 2008 and 9 were horrific, and, the tech bubble and stuff. This is just what happens. It's just, there's always sort of a different catalyst, and this isn't once again a new catalyst. So, but it's just more activity. So if you needed to have 10 phone calls with prospects in the course of a year to make your numbers, or a quarter, like depending on your business, you might need to do 20. If you used to do 5 networking things in a quarter, you might need to do 10. So it's really just perseverance, which I heard, and sticking it out, and trying to ramp up the activity as much as possible. And the ratios won't be the same. Like if 10 first meetings turns into 5 proposals and 2 or 3 clients, it's going to be maybe 2 or 3 clients, 10 proposals and 20, first discovery meetings. So that's kind of a little bit of wisdom for bad economic times. The other tip I'll give, because I gave this to a group of fractionals a couple weeks ago, is always be sure in your client meetings that you book a next step. It's a very simple skill that is often missed that just keeps the deal moving forward. So if you have that first meeting with somebody and it looks like it's going well, or you're not sure, but you feel like it makes sense to have a second conversation or proof of concept or whatever your process is, book it. Say, well, it sounds like there's a fit here. Why don't we book our next meeting so that we can meet your boss, or meet your technical person, or whatever the case is, but book it in the calendar. And even if they say, oh, I'm not really sure, why don't you get back to me? Say, okay, when's a good time to get back to you? Could I just pop something in the calendar by way of a phone call? So you're helpful, you're not pushy, but you want to secure that next step. It will tell you how healthy that opportunity is. And the next step means it's in your calendar and theirs.
I like that. And I think don't misread the situation. I've been guilty of Mr. Pessimistic, right? Thinking a deal is done when it is nowhere near done. And I'll give you, so one of the examples from the Scott Galloway, because I don't want to share one of my own personal, but one of those examples, Scott Galloway, he started his first consulting business. He pitched Yamaha, big number. And then he walked away from me and says, what, am I crazy? Me asking for all that money? Of course they ghosted. And he didn't hear anything, and he was just feeling horrible about it. A few weeks later, he went and saw back in the old days, in his mailbox, a check for $125,000. He asked for $250,000, and in an email apologized. This person was traveling in Japan, couldn't get back to him. So So trying to, like, I've seen deals take a little longer, and people have just maybe taken longer to make a decision, taking longer to validate. Maybe there's more players. I'm definitely seeing that in the world. There's more competition out there. So this just making it taking longer. Don't get in your head and collapse the deal too early, because you're talking trash to yourself, right? So that's and Linda, I'm sure you have to have conversations like that with your clients as well. Any other aha moments from that this year, this quarter? Oh, go ahead, Eden.
Hi. This is almost embarrassing for me as somebody who does marketing and has been involved in corporate communications and reputation management, but I'm going to share it anyway, because I don't know about many of you, but I'm like the shoemaker's child. And it bit me in the butt. And I know this is something that's very big and important to Richard, but it totally bit me in the butt yesterday. And I'm just hoping we have a cone of silence here. So 6 months ago, I had a very happy client. We basically completed her engagement. She was thrilled, kept on telling us, you know, I've implemented this and that and the other, because we did a strategy for her to implement on her own with all kinds of tools, plus additional strategic council discussion. And I saw her in person 8 times following that. Everything was rosy. A week and a half ago, I get a letter from her, or actually a week ago yesterday, I got a letter from her, basically saying she's not happy because on things that I did that were value add that weren't even within the scope, she wasn't so happy with how it happened. And she said, essentially, she gave me a deadline to get back to her and to refund her money, to which I had copies of keep everything, had copies of everything and sent her a response saying, no, sorry. And these are all the things we delivered. And this is the list of over delivery. My mistake, because I'm too nice. Anyway, yesterday she decides she's going to go and start damaging my reputation online. So the first place she went was Google reviews. And with the exception of Richard, who has written me a lovely review, I wasn't doing anything with my Google business profile. So I had to stop everything I was doing. And this is where the determined goes, not determined to fill out my Google reviews, but to just keep things going in the face of adversity, and go back to people I've worked with and clients, and just start getting as many people as I could to help bury her review, which she also started copying and pasting around my LinkedIn, and I just delete, because I can delete there. I think there's value to having negative reviews when they're honest and having a mix. But moral of the story is always think of yourself as the client as well. And you never know when somebody, and I'm convinced that with the situation, it's just a matter of her having a financially difficult situation, because we know finances are tight for many of us. And I just think, you know, manage your online profile, doing whatever you can to make it a habit to get reviews and testimonials from your clients, because one time or another, we're all going to experience something negative from somebody, whether it's valid or not valid. And the more that we can do to help push it down, the better position you'll be in. So that's my.
And finance is deeply attached to emotions too, unfortunately, right? So I think you taught me a few lessons in there. I'm terrible. I say yes far too often, people pleaser kind of thing. And you've just explained, you know, those yeses can get you in a whole lot of trouble of not only scope creep, because you're trying to manage the scope because it's outside of scope. So you're limited in what you can actually do within that. So I think I'm going to try and remember that story so I can say no more frequently.
Well, and to your point, Richard, one of the things I think that we find, well, I've found too, because we might have a little extra time, because we may not be as busy, I'm like, okay, well, if I have a client who needs a little bit more, that's fine. I'll give it to them. You know, now in my head, it's use that time to keep building your business and to put into sales and marketing. You know, put it into other things that are going to help move you forward, as opposed to them.
Yeah, 100%. I think some people do that really well. I am not one, and I think I got to remind myself I'm not one. And just sometimes maybe it's a pause that you need to like not reply, Because I could sell myself anything. I could sell myself on why I should do that value add. I could sell myself that all day long, but the reality is you need to really look at it from the left side, right side. I can't remember which one's which, but you need to really look at it in an analytically perspective. Any other ahas?
I was just going to say,
go ahead.
Eden, you know, the saying, no deed goes unpunished comes to mind. Right?
Oh, karma, baby, as I say.
So that's
I like
on that.
that's a great little run liner to remember. I like that.
You've
No
never
deed.
heard that? That's an old
I
one.
haven't. No, I haven't. Not in, like, it's been a long time, but I like that. That's nice and simple. That's good. Excellent. Anybody else? We got room for one more, maybe two more. Any other ahas? Could be tech. Could be whatever. Martha, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know that it's an aha, but I think it's similar to what Simran was saying about getting yourself up to speed on AI. And I think it's such a catch-22, if I can use that expression, because you start by saying, okay, I'm an expert at doing this, but now all of a sudden someone claims I need to be faster at doing something about the process that I'm doing. So then you're kind of catching, kind of like, well, wait a second, but I'm already an expert at doing this part. Why do I have to learn the software? Oh, it's because you have to stay relevant to showing efficiency. And so there's a little bit like you, Richard, maybe I'm just playing like a little head game with myself. It's like, do I really want to carve out time to learn some new AI tools? Well, I don't know that there's really much of an alternative in the sense of saying, you know, you're being open-minded and that you're being just, yeah, I guess open-minded is the best way to create what I'm trying to say here. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to do more and more too, is when I have more downtime, if it happens in between projects, then instead of feeling like, let me go out and try to do something different, it's like, well, the AI learning is the difference. And I think the only difficulty with that aha moment was that you can feel very quickly where do you start. There's just so many AI tools being released every week. And I don't know about all of you because we're all been doing different things, but even just from a graphic design perspective, there are so many tools that claim to do what we do, and they don't, and that's fine. Like, that's part of the learning, is going in there and being able to validate how it can help you and how it doesn't. And I started this back in last year, and with even the little presentation to the group in November, it was an eye-opening experience last fall to start using more AI than I was using before. But I guess what I'm trying to say, sorry, I'm getting a little long-winded, is it's like this little hamster. It's like sometimes, you know, you're going, you're going so fast, you have, you know, you're busy with all your to-dos and you've got your own process of how you achieve your work, but then there is value in learning something new. It's just that AI is one of those things that can be so overwhelming because of the rate of how much software is up there right now.
I'd also say, this is something I say to myself sometimes at the end of the week. It's like, what did you do? You know, what did you get? Like, all these things that you want to do. But there's sort of like, as a little pat on the back to yourself, I'm sure you're making decisions all day long about prioritization, and that you've made good decisions in the moment, in the context that you're in, and just not beat yourself up by, you know, these are some of these long-term, low-hanging fruits, right, are really important, but they're hard to schedule in as well. That's what I say to myself anyhow, just so I don't, because there's a billion things I should know, right? Like, and a billion, if I had the time, there's a billion things I should have learned, but I have to just trust that I made some decisions along the way that were the right decisions in the moment. That's why, like, time, you don't get duplicates of it, unfortunately. This like concept of multitasking just means you're still using time just twice as fast, right? So, yeah. I was going to think, so Marino, when we were talking, you mentioned hosting, and I was gonna really show my age by, like, I remember Photoshop when it first came out with a droplet concept. I don't know if that even makes sense to anybody anymore. The droplets, like, you have a bunch of, like, say you're touching up a bunch of imagery and you're doing the same action because maybe shot all the images in the same lighting or whatever, and you could capture all those actions like a function almost, and capture it in a droplet. And, like, to me, that is like your first sort of automation. And I was listening to these guys while I mow the lawn. I listened to a ton of podcasts, and I got a quarter lot, so there's a lot of lawn to cover. And they were talking about really, is there really any AI agents in there, or are they just functions, right? Like in different definitions, these are three computer scientists going at it the same way. So if you think about it, like that a Photoshop droplet was like one of the first sort of formats. We should have seen it a long time ago coming, right? So anyhow, sorry, I don't know where that came from. Just remembered. So any last, let's just do a quick little round. One word, thought that comes to mind after hearing everybody, what everybody's doing, the words of the month. Just give me a one worder and then we'll do it really quick. So I'm going to go from right to left. Unfortunately, Christina's spot got moved around, so she gets to go first. Hey, Christina.
No, I guess one word, understanding. I think that there was a lot of words, although yes, I admit that I was a little bit tired today, but I definitely resonate with a lot of what everyone was saying. So understanding would be my one word.
And I go to Marta.
These one words are killing me today, Richard.
Say it again.
Sorry, but these one words are killing me today. I'm stuck.
I could go with him. That's a word. HMMM. That's like that's the thought-provoking pause. That works for me. Go ahead, Linda.
Hanging in.
All right, I like it. All right, Colleen.
I don't know, persistence, hanging in,
Yeah, I like it.
all that
I like
kind of good stuff.
I like it. Eden.
In good company. Sorry, that's 3 words, 1 thought.
That's all right. We'll hyphenate it. Is that possible, Colleen? Don't be Grammarly on me on that. Daniel, are you there? There you are.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I just had to go help my family with something.
No worries. One word to wrap up the day.
Don't know offhand.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Maybe resilience.
There you go. I like that. There you go. Simran.
Keep going.
Keep going. I like that. Miranda.
My word is positive because I think we all need to stay positive.
Oh, amen. For those that can be positive all the time. Amen. All right, Marino.
Open-minded, I guess.
I like it. Brian.
I'll say persistence again. I've heard it a few times tonight, so it's a good word.
I think it is too. Robert.
Chill.
Say it again.
Chill. Chill.
I didn't catch.
Oh, am I not?
No, you're saying I just didn't catch it. It was so quick.
Yeah, just chill.
Chill. Oh, chill. Okay, sorry.
No
worries.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Henrik.
Challenging, I guess. Everyone has a view. Yeah.
And I will see you tonight, sir. You have a challenging drive to.
Okay. Well, shouldn't be that bad. It's important.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Great, guys. It's been
All
great. We got a bit of a break. One thing I want you to think of over the week break that we get off is I've been thinking about doing some AMAs, Ask Me Anythings, and just getting some volunteers for that very first Tuesday of the month. If you know somebody, it doesn't have to be in our group. I've spoke to a couple of people that I thought, man, I'd like them to meet our group and just share their sort of life battles. So if you could think of anybody you want to put them my way, I'm thinking about using that first Tuesday of the month for an Ask Me Anything opportunity for us. So we could sit back, let somebody else do the work, and just pummel them with questions. Okay? All right, guys. Have a fantastic rest of the month. Oh, go ahead. We'll talk soon. See ya.
Okay, good night.